Hello, welcome back to our third part of transmission. This is the last transmission. If you're just joined us now, this is Ben TV's Catch on 184. I'm your presenter, Ayoub Mzee. And this is the dialogue, the program whereby we try and bridge the gap between the West and back home. This is where we try and bring you update issues, current, social, cultural, economic, and any other issue that you want to raise. It's a live program. The number will come on the screen should you want to get in touch with us. Today, quickly, I want to say that you have seen that we had the Minister of Information from Sierra Leone has been able to put the case for his country. But at the same time, he said that we'll be meeting the Sierra Leone diaspora. If you want to find out, just to get in touch with the Sierra Leone embassy here in London, High Commission in London, they'll be able to tell you details of that. But at the same time, I want to say that for most of our viewers watching this program should be able to appreciate the fact that Sierra Leone is a country that has just been at the brink of disaster and despair, but they've come out of that, and at the moment they are being ranked as one of the most highly respected countries, socially, culturally, economically, in Africa, so they deserve a pat on the back. And should you want to join the minister today and be able to sing the song from Sierra Leone and see where Sierra Leone is, I'll appreciate whether you're Sierra Leonean or not. Get in touch with us after the show as well. You can ring this number, I'll take your call, and I'll be able to, by then we'll have the details where the meeting will be. With me in the studio here, as we are continuing with the success story of Africa, is one of my guests here, who is called Mr. Alex Tetenta. Alex Tetenta is from Nigeria, and he represents a company called Changing Nigeria. And Changing Nigeria, what is it all about, Changing Nigeria?
Oh, well, Changing Nigeria is an organization that I formed with like-minded Nigerians due to the deep and abiding love we have for our country. And because we want to see our country change, and we want to see our country get back on the path of success, because when our country got independence, it had the potential to be one of the greatest countries in Africa, to champion the cause of all black people everywhere in the world. And so, we do know that we can still achieve that greatness right now, because of the kind of image that we have about Nigeria in the world today. Is not one that makes everybody happy, not just Nigerians, but Africans as a whole look up to Nigeria. And as such, those of us in diaspora do know the kind of image that is being projected outside of Nigeria about Nigeria. So it was formed to see how we can politically or organize from the grassroots and start sharing ideas about what we can do.
Okay, let me stop you there. You said something very important that I've picked from your conversation about getting Nigeria back on its feet or back to a good path, which they were there before. Now, people watching this program here, they could just say, Nigeria is already on its path. It's already on its feet. Nigeria is an African leading nation. They are participating very well in OPEC. They have got a second democratically elected government. In Nigeria, you have got even very, very important issue. You have got even a head of state who has got a university degree. What else do you need from Nigeria?
Well, it's not, that's the point. Whether head of state is educated or whether we're on the path, it remains to be seen. Because we only got democracy in 1999, like you said. And yes, we don't expect a lot to change around in that short period of time. But we also do know that there's things we can be doing, like we can stop flaring gas. Nigeria flares millions of cubic feet of gas every day that burns up in the air as a result of just our production of oil. And that gas alone can go in pipes, which can power homes, Nigerian homes. It can also run power stations of the future. It can also be used to export as well, as Europe has problems with Russia and Ukraine when it comes to gas. So we can also supply that market to them.
How can you supply this market when you can't even refine your own?
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, but do you think that kind of thing, again, is something to do with Nigeria, or it's probably according to the geopolitical agendas?
Well, that's another thing that we're getting to, because before we can get to that point, we have to be sincere about fixing our refineries, and like you rightfully pointed out, which will also create jobs for Nigerians. Now, there must be a geopolitical strategic importance of why that refinery is not being fixed. Perhaps it's enriching people who are better off exporting crude oil and refining it outside and importing it at exorbitant rates. But it's crippling our economy. It's making people queue up in the land of oil to buy oil, and that's not acceptable.
Now, let me put you to the the court of public opinion and see what Julius wants to say. Hello, Julius. What do you want to tell my guest here, sir? Hello, Julie.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
All I want to say is thank the gentleman that is there and changing Nigeria. Nigeria needs to change. But there's a question I want to ask, because this political leaders in Nigeria, they have so secured themselves that they cannot be tried. I know the gentleman is not a politician, but I just want to ask this question. Is the immunity that is in Nigeria that is covering these politicians, is it constitutional or is an act of law by the parliament? Because I think during the week, you know what happened in Italy, because the parliament has decided to kind of secure themselves so that they cannot be tried. So the immunity clause was removed of Berlusconi and all his cabinet in Italy. So the same thing I think they did in Nigeria, but I don't know if it's constitutional in Nigeria. But I think it's an act of parliament, and that thing's supposed, they don't supposed to have immunity. If you are elected by the people, what's the need of having an immunity clause? Thank you. That's my question.
Did you understand what she said?
Well, that's talking about the...
Yes. You want to come back to her?
Well, yes, I can do. Now, immunity about political officers in Nigeria, that's what she's on about. Of course, that's something that's embedded somewhere within Nigerian constitutional documents. I'm not a politician, like she rightfully pointed out, and as we speak, we do know that the politicians in Nigeria are beginning to look at, they're looking at constitutional review or constitutional reform. And of course, it's up to them to get on with that task, and it's up to their electorate and the constituency, the constituents, to hold them to account and to put forward ideas that will enable the constitutional review to go forward and address all the issues every region of the country and every state faces as we speak.
Coming back again to probably to be able to see how I should handle this, is that which part of Nigeria are you from?
From the southeast of Nigeria, to be precise.
And that includes the Niger Delta? That
includes Niger. Well, my part of Nigeria is on the bridge between the Niger Delta and the Igbo land. And the Igbo land,
that's fine. Now, that has occurred to me. Now, let me look at your area. Despite the fact that, let me say, the Niger Delta itself has got a lot of rich natural endowments, like oil and all that. But I look at the majority of your people in the region are poor, with over 70% of the population living below the poverty line. Youth, restiveness, and military resulting from unemployment. As a person and the organization, how do you think you're going to tackle this kind of problem?
Well, this is the idea. The idea is to say that it's not enough to what we're doing in Africa is when we let people come into Africa and develop our economy for us, our oil and gas. We do not do environmental assessment. We just let people come and spill oil, whatever they want, and do whatever they want. And that has to stop, first of all, because the standard of life in the Niger Delta is deteriorating. People are, the rivers are polluted, fishes are dying, there's the inhaling fumes from flaring gas at their backyards. And these are people who were blessed with resources, fifth or sixth largest producer of oil in the world. So it is unacceptable.
Alex, I'll put you back to the Court of Public Opinion and see Mr. Ogene what you say. Hello, Ogene.
Hello, yes, sir. Good morning, Bumsa. Good morning to the gentleman. My friend, your organization, your arrangement is very good, changing Nigeria. But I tell you what, it's very, very good. If you're going to change Nigeria, the document, the constitutional document, was not drawn up by the people who are practicing Democrats today. That document, the Constitution, must be thrown away so that every Nigerian can sit and make a new Constitution that will deal with problems of election, deal with problems of governorship, state, everything. That Constitution doesn't do that. Because it was not drawn up by civilians. It was drawn up by military people.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So you have to draw it up by Democrats. Democrats have to sit down, draw up a constitution, such that the military will be part of it and not them initiating it.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate your time here. George, hello, George. Hello, George. Are you there? Hello, George.
Hello, okay.
Yeah, hello, George. Hi.
George. Hello?
Yeah, hello. I can hear you, George. What do you...
Yeah, my name is George. I'm calling from Manchester. Another quick question for Mr. Alex.
Cool. Go on.
Mr. Alex, don't you think the biggest cankerworm eating into the fabric of Nigerian society is the issue of corruption? And how exactly do you plan to tackle this issue of corruption? I mean, every young Nigerian wants to get rich quick.
Thank you, George. Thanks. Yeah, what do you want to say to George?
Well, that's the thing. We need to foster a sense of national identity, a sense of purpose that goes beyond just how much we can get for ourselves today, but looks at the future, looks at what legacy we intend to leave for the future generation. You see, line 5 of Nigerian anthem says that the labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. And constantly I find myself asking the question, who are our leaders? What are their labors? What have they done for us, apart from put money in Swiss banks? What exactly? We have a few of them, the Muritala Mohammed of our time, of before, and then Azikiwes of before. People who've had agendas to articulate exactly what we can do moving forward. But in the same time, they've been lost, or the message has been enmeshed with tribalism and with different regions, scrambling, trying to get a share of the national cake. And I think also that the non-diversified economy in Nigeria, the overdependence on oil, essentially, is what's fueling this culture of corruption, where people realize that there is some resource that they can fall back to if they haven't worked hard enough to make money for themselves. And so, first of all, we need to diversify the economy, show that the economy doesn't just run on oil, that we can start having infrastructural development, building railways that can take goods from the south to the north at a more exponential rate. Maybe the man in the south can put mangoes and oranges and palm oil on the train, and it could get to Kara Nomada or Nguru in the north in perhaps 3 hours. Maybe the man in the north who is herding cattle from the north to the south can